For the last 2 years, I've done a ranking video of all the movies that I've seen that year, but it's not really a ranking video, it's just kind of like my feelings, and I'm just talking about the movies that I enjoyed watching and all that stuff. And I'm basically going to be doing the same thing this year. I guess it's this channel's way of doing a year in review, and 2024 was a great year for movies, television, video games, comedy specials, documentaries. I didn't even watch a documentary this year, like a movie documentary. I saw a docuseries. And short films, I think. Yeah, short films. So I'm going to be talking about all of the movies that I saw in 2024. But it's going to be a little bit different than how I've done it in the past. This time I'm going to be doing it in release order. I don't know why, I just have this desire to talk about every single movie that I've seen this year and just give it like a little like, hey, I liked it, hey, I thought this was interesting, blah blah blah, whatever. And I'm going to be reserving the top 10 movies, which are ranked, but like top 10 is basically just my favorite 10. It's not really a ranked thing. It's just if you're in the top 10, you're just my 10 favorite of the year. But honestly, I could grow that out so much more. But for the purposes of a video and a marketable title, this is what I'm going to be doing. So, hey, welcome to the video. I'm glad you're here. So let's get started with the movies. Released first, technically in 2023, Late Night with the Devil. This is an incredible horror movie. I have a hard time getting past the whole AI issue just because it would have been so simple to just hire an artist to do those small things. Like it's so weird to get hung up on this really small like issue that I have with the movie that really does kind of hold it back from being this glorious horror movie. But to be frank, I understand the interest in experimentation, especially with movies. And while no, I don't really appreciate AI in movies, this movie is so good and made by such creatively brilliant people, I'm actually kind of okay with allowing it this one time. Not that I have the authority on it or anything, you can make your own opinions. I'm just saying, this movie is so good, I don't mind the AI. Also, there's a lot of other good things, but we've got a lot on this list, so I'm not gonna talk as long as I did about other ones. Let's continue with the list. Problemista. Wildcat. I saw this one with Ethan Hawke and Maya Hawke in the building. Great movie about a person I didn't know 10 seconds before the movie started. Hitman. I don't think I really relate to Richard Linklater's stuff because I'm not a fan of Everybody Wants Some, but I'm a huge fan of School of Rock, so I feel kind of conflicted. But this was a good movie. Okay, finally getting into the actually released movies in 2024, not just to the wide audience. Mean Girls, The Beekeeper, Argyle, I Saw the TV Glow, A Real Pain, My Old Ass. Weird story about this movie. I didn't think I had to like walk up to the ticket counter and say, 1 ticket for My Old Ass, please. It feels like a prank. And then she responded like a professional person, and she gave me the ticket and this button. That's kind of funny. Ask me about my old ass. So now I always have this souvenir of an incredible movie. Jesus. Speaking of good stuff, Love Lies Bleeding, Bob Marley One Love, Lisa Frankenstein, Madam Web, Ricky Stenicki, Kung Fu Panda 4, Roadhouse, Immaculate, Civil War, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. Hey Sony, I have a Ghostbusters script if you're interested. I'm a huge fan. Snack Shack. One of those movies that I just randomly bought a ticket for because I was bored and had nothing to do with that day and fell in love with the movie. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, Abigail, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, Unfrosted, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, If, Megalopolis, a movie that was steeped in controversy and turmoil and just difficulties out the wazoo for decades. Megalopolis. Whoa. Honora. Bad Boys Ride or Die. I was genuinely shocked with how much I loved this movie because I've never seen the movies before this. So I just kind of jumped right in and whoa, what a ride. Longlegs. The second most horrifying movie I've seen this year. Inside Out 2. Despicable Me 4. Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F. Maxine. A Quiet Place. Day 1. Twisters. Oh, Twisters, there we go. Descendants, The Rise of Red, Trap, The Instigators, Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's very unfortunate that Zachary Levi passed away in such a horrific accident, and there is no news about him whatsoever, and nobody should look him up at the moment. Blink Twice, the first most horrifying movie I've seen this year. Alien Romulus. Have you heard of a movie called Jackpot? Wild. The Union, Rebel Ridge, Beetlejuice, Piece by Piece, Joker, Folie à Deux. I actually didn't mind this one. I had a good time with Joker, Folie à Deux. I think it is kind of cool that this movie is like, no, Joker's lame. He's stupid. And if you liked him for the wrong reasons, you're stupid too. And I think that's kind of an interesting idea. It's just difficult to follow that up with the movie that made him cool in the first place. We Live in Time, Transformers 1, Heretic, Smile 2, Gladiator 2, Venom, The Last Dance, Here, Juror Number 2, Red One, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, Hot Frosty, Moana 2, Carry On, and finally, just because I haven't had a lot of time to watch a lot of movies in, what month are we in? December, the final movie that I saw released, Standing on the Shoulders of Kitties, The Bubbles and the Blank Rockers Story. You're like, what, Zach? What are you talking about? I've never heard of this movie before. I didn't even know this movie was coming out. As a huge fan of the Trailer Park Boys, I was shocked to see that they were still making something. And I'm so happy that they are. Because this movie that I didn't know was being released until I saw it on Fandango, like just the poster, I was just scrolling through because I was bored, and I was like, wait a minute, that looks like the Trailer Park Boys logo. Wait a minute, there's a Trailer Park Boys movie coming out? And then I saw it, and while this movie is standing on the shoulders of the original show, but I'm tis, it is the best Trailer Park Boys thing to have come out ever, in my opinion. It is shot incredibly well. It looks so beautiful. The actors, everybody in this is so great. I'm so emotionally invested in the story. It's so fantastic. I was shocked that I didn't even know this was coming out. There's a few movies that I missed this year that I definitely wanted to see, but I just couldn't for whatever reason, either because I figured it out too late or just there's no theater in my area showing it. The ones that are in theaters currently that I plan on seeing at some point, but I probably won't before the new year, is Kraven the Hunter. I just need to finish it. Sonic 3, Mufasa, and the big Christmas 3, Nosferatu, Baby Girl, and A Complete Unknown. All three I'm very excited for. I'm trying to figure out which one I should go see first. But now, let's get to our top 10. Number 10, The Wild Robot.
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
I already made a video about this movie, but just to give a little bit more context to it, this is the most beautifully animated movie of this year. Just the title alone, The Wild Robot, that is such an intriguing premise. And I know it's based on a book, and the book is, from what I know, beautifully adapted to the screen. Breathtaking cinema. This is one of the best animated movies of the year. I hope it wins Best Animated Movie too. Number 9, I know I just said the previous movie is the best animated movie of the year, but I can't deny how enjoyable seeing Spy Family Code White in the movies was for me.
I'm gonna save them!
Wait for me, Anya. Spy Family Code White.
Real quick, I'm just going to give a shout out to Griffin and Em and also Aaron and kind of Aiden and Emma. They didn't always watch with us, but they did, for getting me into the first anime I've ever watched all the way through and will continue to watch all the way through, Spy Family. Never did I ever think I was going to enjoy a movie as much as I did this one, but Spy Family Code White, whoa! I still remember the joy I had when we bought the tickets and we're like, oh shoot, is it dubbed? And then got in there and saw the caption sign. We were like, yes! Pure enjoyment. I had a incredible time watching this movie. I also saw it on 420, random fun fact. It's exciting like the show, it's fun to watch with friends. Brilliant movie. Thank you. Number 8, Wicked. was the reason I finally decided to say, hey, I want to be in the entertainment industry. Here I am. I love the music, I love the costumes, I love the story, and all of that. But to separate that stuff that the musical really brought to the table, to separate basically all of that, I do want to say that John M. Chu made an incredible movie. I think Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, the whole cast does an incredible job at bringing these characters to life on screen. I was really, really shocked to see that they were able to pull off this as a part one, especially within a time frame that is longer than the entire musical itself. I had a great time watching this movie, and I can't wait for part 2. Number 7, Monkey Man.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele apparently saved this movie from streaming, and thank God he did, or else I would have never seen this movie in theaters, because whoa, what a ride. Dev Patel is awesome. Not only is the lead actor, but he's also, if I'm not mistaken, the writer and director, or maybe one of the writers. And I hope he writes more in the future, because this is amazing. Yes, it's very similar to John Wick. Even the movie makes reference to the fact that it's similar to John Wick, but it feels so original and steeped in this beautiful culture. It makes an identity in and of itself very quickly, and it's great for it, and it's an awesome action film. I loved it. Number 6, Conclave.
For faith.
This movie is officially Brat. I don't know what that means because I'm not a big Charlie XCX person, but I'm happy she had a good time too. What's funny is I went into this movie thinking, oh, this might be a murder mystery just because of the subject matter and like the Pope just died and somebody's trying to take over. But no, that's not what we got, and I'm happy that it wasn't that we got. This was so much more than just a murder mystery. Great cast, everyone is perfect, great story, I had an amazing time. Number 5, Deadpool and Wolverine. I swear to God, I'm not a Marvel shill. I saw this movie so many times. I also am feeling a little bit fatigued with the whole MCU stuff, multiverse, whatever. But this was great. I had such a fun time with it. Simply put,
Let's fucking go.
I really appreciated how this movie was more of a swan song to the Fox movies in a positive way, and also just to make light of some of the more negative stuff. I hope Daphne Keane is the new Wolverine. I don't care. I think she'd be really good, especially if you have this Wolverine in the MCU handing over the reins to her, because it's gonna be hard to follow up Hugh Jackman. My favorite cameo is still Blade. He's so cool. I can't deny my excitement when he walked on screen. This and another thing that I'll talk about in the TV shows showed fans that Marvel can still kick butt. Anyways, moving on to number 4, Saturday Night.
We just have to make it to air.
Funny enough, this is a movie that I watch and I go, I want to be in the entertainment industry. I'm not much of an SNL fan, but I have to appreciate the absolute pantheon of entertainment it's provided for years. And I'm very envious of the whole experience and the people that work there. And to see the origin story brought to life dramatically on screen is a real treat. I think this is the best cast of the year. It was fun to be a fan of the celebrities that were in the movie just as much as the celebrities they were playing. I think my favorite actor slash person that they're playing was Matthew Rhys's George Carlin. That was really cool. Gabriel LaBelle is the next big star, and people need to start appreciating him for it. And this was an awesome movie. It felt like a tense thrill ride through the New York's landscape in the 70s. It was so awesome. I love the look, the feel, the intensity, and the care that goes into this entertainment staple before it was a staple. Number 3, Challengers.
Hey, I love you.
I know.
You wish you never ever met her
The performances were perfect, it's a great story, the writing is impeccable, and this looks amazing. There's not much else I have to say. I did want to point out that the framing device of this whole movie, the tennis match between these two guys and Zendaya right down the center, it's incredible that there's so much story that you can read on their faces and in their body language and just the actions that they take. And there's not a word of dialogue spoken between them, if I'm not mistaken. That's magnificent. Number 2, a movie that should not have bombed at the box office. It was an expensive movie, but David Leitch is an incredible director, and he deserves all the praise he can get for making one of the best action-packed entertainment experiences of the year, because The Fall Guy is awesome. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt are the perfect leads. This movie has the perfect cast. Winston Duke, Hannah Waddingham, Aaron Taylor-Johnson. This is an important movie. It shows the unappreciated stunt industry of the entertainment space and why it needs to be appreciated the way it is. I mean, this movie has set records, man. And what's also really cool is how hilarious this movie is. There's so much going on in this movie. It really does feel like the entertainment package. There's mystery, there's action, there's romance, there's laughs, there's everything. It's fantastic. This is probably the movie I've recommended the most from this year, just because of how purely accessible it is and how entertaining it is. I loved The Fall Guy, but I can't deny the absolute shock I had when I watched number 1 in the theaters, because I wasn't a fan of the first movie. But Dune Part 2, whoa.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
What hasn't been said about Dune Part 2? Not a lot. So, I'm actually just going to talk about my experience watching the movie. So I saw Dune 1 at the 2021 SCAD Savannah Film Festival. It was the first movie I watched. Everybody walked out praising it. They said it was like the best thing they'd ever seen, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, alright. I didn't really get it. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, it's just a sci-fi thing. I get it. There's Arrakis, there's Paul Atreides, there's the Tarkins and whatever. I don't know. Cut to this year, and I was bored in my house. I did all the homework I needed to do. There wasn't a movie on streaming or a video game that I needed to play. So I do what I always do. I scroll through Fandango. I see that Dune Part 2 is out. There's not another movie coming out for a while that I'm really interested in, I don't think. And I'm like, alright. Whatever. I saw the first one, I might as well see the second one. Thank God I was bored that day. I saw it and I went, oh, I get it now. This is really cool. Later, I loved it so much. I later took my friends who also saw Dune Part 1 and wasn't super, like they weren't needing to see Dune Part 2. I took them to see Dune Part 2. And they also went, oh! Dune Part 2, to me, is the modern day Empire Strikes Back. It's a great film, and it's one of my favorite movies of 2024. Not my favorite movie. Again, this is a kind of a vague ranking. I just want to talk about movies because I like entertainment. Speaking of which, let's move on to a second part of entertainment, television. These are all the televisions I saw in 2024 in release order. I won't talk about them too much, but here we go. Echo. I don't know if they're good. I don't think they're making a season 2. Ted, season 1, loved it. Abbott Elementary, season 3. I finally watched Avatar: The Last Airbender this year, and I loved it, and it was fantastic. And I said, where have you been all my life? Oh, on Netflix. But what's funny is that the only reason I watched it was because I was like, I think I should watch the live action The Last Airbender first, so just in case if that show is not that good, so I can enjoy that and then fall in love with the animated series. But I didn't do that this time. I just watched the animated series and then I tried watching the live action series and I didn't like it. Nothing against it. Elsbeth, Dark Side of the Ring, Season 5. Young Royals, Season 3. Invincible, Season 2, or at least Part 2 of Season 2. A show that I didn't expect to love as much as I did, but I cannot wait for more. At least just more Marvel animated content. X-Men 97. I love the show so much. It's inspiring some storytelling that I hope to be doing in 2025. Wink, wink. Nudge nudge. It's probably my favorite depictions of most of the X-Men characters. I would even go as far to say is I like this Wolverine more than I do the movies. Taskmaster Season 17, Velma Season 2 and the Halloween Special, Smiling Friends Season 2, also the April Fool's puppet episodes, which are great. My Adventures with Superman Season 2. Superman fans, I'm one of them, are eating good today. Who Killed WCW? The Boys Season 4, The Bear Season 3, Batman Caped Crusaders Season 1, Bachelorette Gen Seasons, you already know my opinions, The Umbrella Academy Season 4, Chimp Crazy Limited, it's a limited series, brought to you by the guys who did Tiger King, so whoa. Only Murders in the Building Season 4, Frasier, the new show Season 2, I actually ended up watching the entirety of Frasier. One of the best sitcoms ever made. Hell's Kitchen Season 23, Mr. McMahon documentary, and that thing I alluded to earlier about one of the other of the two great Marvel things to have released this year that made me say, yeah, the MCU still got it, is one of the greatest dramatic, thrilling, hilarious television series I've seen. Might be my favorite Disney Plus Marvel series, Agatha All Along. This ruled. I couldn't believe how much I loved it. Just as much, I could believe how much I loved Penguin. So, there's that. Taskmaster Season 18, Bad Monkey Season 1, or it's a limited series, I don't really know. And finally, the kickoff for the DC Universe. It's not completed at this time, but I'm loving it. Creature Commandos. And those are all the television shows I saw that were dropped in 2024. Also, I don't think I put Abbott Elementary Season 4. That's another one. If I missed anything, you can yell at me in the comments, and then I'll probably respond with the, yeah, I did miss that, or, oh shoot, I forgot to mention that. And let's quickly get with the other stuff, because usually I like to talk about the video games, the comedy specials, the short films, and the documentaries. To be frank, there's not a lot. I didn't watch any documentaries this year, not because I didn't want to. I really wanted to see Super Slash Man. I have to say Super Slash Man just to differentiate from Superman. For video games, I only actually played one, WWE 2K24. What a ride. Then for comedy specials, I watched Jeff Dunham's Scrooged Up Holiday Special and Anthony Jeselnik's Bones and All. And then for short films, I saw The Spider Within, a Spider-Verse story. See, it did come out this year, guys, you just weren't looking. And then Is Now a Good Time by Jim Cummings, who's one of my favorite indie directors and writers. I had a great time this year. I'm very happy with how the channel went. I feel like I've really kicked it into gear of like, this is a YouTube channel now. This isn't just where I throw my old school projects. I'm hopefully going to be keeping up a consistent YouTube schedule in the future as well. I'm planning on doing like every Monday, or maybe I'll switch over to every Friday, maybe every Wednesday, I don't really know. But I do kind of like the weekly video basis because I do have a lot of work that I need to do, and I have really pushed myself October and December really hard. What can you expect from this channel in 2025? Well, I have a few ideas. Some of them include limited podcast series, which might be interesting. I'm talking about scripted podcast series reminiscent of like those old radio shows back in the day. That's something I would like to produce, and I'm saying it in a video to force myself to be like, oh shoot, I said I was gonna do it, now I gotta do it. I wanna do a lot more, but it's harder right now trying to find a suitable, livable career to base myself on, and then also want to do more cooking videos. I want to do video game videos, but I'd have to buy a whole new computer, and I don't really know how to do that, and Impossible Quiz was hard enough as it is. I even might want to do some singing stuff. Yeah, I talked about it a long time ago. I tried doing it, I got nervous, I stopped doing it, and now I'm here. But I am so excited to explore entertainment, talk about pop culture, and have a lot more fun in 2025 with all of you beautiful people that are watching this video right now. Thank you so much. Anyways, thank you so much for a great year on YouTube. I had a lot of fun making videos, and I'm looking forward to making more videos in the future, and hopefully doing stuff even beyond YouTube, because YouTube's not the end game. YouTube's just kind of, it's a creative outlet. It's a creative endeavor that I can explore different ideas and do different things. And I'm very excited to continue doing that in 2025. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next year.